Hey, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, and knife nerds. It's the Big Canucker here, and I just thought I'd give you the old circus opening here. Just thought I'd try it. I don't know if it sounded all right. It was that was my Ricky Radio voice. I used to be in the radio broadcasting hockey all the time, and even though I never did it because that was the joke, that was the Ricky Radio voice. So you get on the radio, you didn't talk like that. You'd say, "Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's Ricky Radio here." Nah, I don't know. That's what we sounded like sometimes just to make fun of ourselves. All right, got myself a kick-ass knife I want to look at because it is a kick-ass knife. It is a Hall of Fame blade. But before that, I just want to quickly remind you guys to hit the subscribe button because when we hit 1,000 subscribers, we're going to be giving away this Extrema Ratio Scout 1. And it's a god-awful good knife. And I have to say thank you to Mr. Patrick Anderson for sending this along. So when we hit 1,000 subscribers, this is going to be in some lucky subscriber's hand, and then it'll be in their everyday carry rotation because this is a great knife, and I think it's a good everyday carry knife too, even though it's a fixed blade. So, what we want to talk about today is you want to talk about the Ontario Knives Company Rat 1, the Randall's Adventure Training Rat 1, and I gotta say, holy cow! Awesome knife. Right off the bat, let's just say it. It's an awesome Hall of Fame knife that kicks some ass and it cuts like you wouldn't believe. So let's go to the tabletop and let's have a look at this bugger. All right. Let's go over this. This one here happens to be the OS 8 version with the carbon fiber handle on it. Now you can get this in like a Zytel, which is a nylon. You can get this in a G10. You can get this in a micarta, and you can get this in different colored G10s, I do believe. And you can also get it in, like I said, the carbon fiber. And it's actually a really good looking carbon fiber. It's a kind of a slippery carbon fiber, but it's carbon fiber nonetheless. All right, so let's go over this real quick. So your blade length is 3.6 inches, which is I think the perfect size for your EDC blade. Like, your 3.5, 3.6, in and around there, that's your perfect size. I don't think it looks too dangerous out there, but it does an awful lot of work. The overall length is 8.62 inches. And just to give you what that is like, here is a size comparison, which is your Spyderco Delica, which is another Hall of Fame knife. And that's the size there. And then we've also got another knife that I'm going to be reviewing here soon, which is this Andrew Demko designed Cold Steel 8010, and you can see that I thought the 8010 was a big honking knife, and this Ontario Rat is just as long, so close, but is way more nimble than this crazy beast of a knife, this 8010. So, all right. So your blade, messing up my thing here. So your blade here is a fully flat ground OS 8 blade. Now this knife comes in two different blade iterations, the OS 8 and the D2. If you have a choice, go with the D2. In my opinion, it gives you double the edge retention and more toughness. But if stainlessness is the most important thing to you, then go with the OS 8. Other than that, the D2 is the way to go. Now, the handle material, like I said, can be a nylon, it can be a G10, it can be a carbon fiber, and it can be multicolored G10 as well as micarta. The closed length on this knife here is 5 inches long, and I have to say that is one of the things that drew me to this knife was not only the fact that every single person who looked at it said it was one of the best valued folders out there. Still, I mean, this has been out for a long time, and it is still one of the best valued folders out there. I just think that it's a good looking knife, opened and closed. There are some knives out there that look weird. There's some knives that are just got the right lines. They're aesthetically pleasing. And I gotta say, this is one of them. This is a really, really good looking, gorgeous knife. And not just in the carbon fiber. I think you put like a G10 or a micarta and it has still got really, really pleasing lines. Now, with those pleasing lines, you get some really, really excellent ergonomics. I'm really, really impressed. That little bit of a thumb ramp here, the way your finger locks into there, it gives you really, really, lots of, you don't have to worry too much if you have to do any sort of stabbing motion that your hand's going to slide up into it. It just seems like it just locks your hand right in there really, really nice. Now, the carbon fiber is a little more slippery, but with the humps on it, it locks in your hand. So I don't think you're super worried about this slipping out of your hands. Now it is a four position clip on it, and it's similar to like a Benchmade Spyderco spoon clip. It has lots of holding abilities, and it gives you lots of room in here for your pants to kind of bunch up. It's not a deep carry clip, but you don't have a whole lot of knives sticking out of your pocket. I mean, you got enough that you can kind of grab it if you need to. But if you're that deep carry type of guy, I'm sure that you can find a deep carry clip for this, no problem. It's been around for so long. There's definitely some stuff out there for this. Of course, you've got a little bit of on the small side lanyard, but a lot of people like that, the fact that you've got a smaller lanyard hole in it. I like the fact that you have a lanyard. I love putting lanyards on all my knives, and this is one that I think I will put a lanyard on. Now, out of the box, I have to say that this was one of the sharpest knives that I have ever felt out of the box. It was certainly hair shaving sharp, borderline hair whittling sharp out of the thing. I wish I had one of those knife, sharpness testing things, just to tell you for sure. Now, fully flat ground blade with a dual thumb studs. Now, this is a black coating on here. I'm not sure, nor am I really that super confident that this black coating is going to last a really, really long time, because I have put this through a lot of cardboard, and you can see right along the edge, I'm not sure if you can tell, that it seems like it's starting to wear a little bit. And if you see it in a certain light, you can see lots of lines where the cardboard went through. And I don't know. That's one of the knocks on I guess being a knife reviewer. I don't get to say a lot of how these things wear and tear or break in, because I'm not going to be putting this in my pocket for a year like most folks are gonna, and they're gonna know what this is gonna wear in like. Because I've just got so many knives that I want to test out and bring to you guys to look at. So therefore, I don't get to see a lot of that. So if you know how this coating is going to handle the wear and tear, leave it in the comments down below and let me know if you think this is going to last. If you've had one of these and you've cut a lot of stuff with it and it's lasted and it's just kind of discolored a little bit, then hey, I'm bad. But if it does wear out fairly quick, I think I'd like people to know that too as well. Now, the fit and finish coming out of this here was really, really quite nice. That's the one thing I have to say is, the blade centering was awesome. The screw holes were all nice and tight. Although on this carbon fiber, the screw holes were a tiny bit chipped. I mean, and it's just something, if you really looked at the knife, you could tell. And that's just, for the fact that this is like, a mid $30 knife, or in Canada a mid $50 knife, maybe a little bit more with the carbon fiber. But if you've got $100 or $200 knife, that screw hole gets drilled and then you chamfer the edge and then you put your screw in there to clean it up. Where this is, you're not going to do that in a $38 knife. So I just thought I'd kind of throw that out there. Now, the weight on this here, now it says the Zytel version is 5 ounces. I couldn't find the carbon fiber in a Rat 1 online here real quick. So, and I don't trust my little scale has been a little bit off. So I'm going to say that this is still, right around there, or sub 5 ounces. It's not heavy by any stretch of the imagination, but it does have full stainless steel liners with a liner lock. Stainless steel liners, I don't think there been a lot of, they're full liners. I don't think they're drilled out to save weight, so it is kind of probably a little bit heavier than it can be. But then there we go. There's an extra step that it costs money. So instead of being 4.6 ounces, it's 5 ounces, right? So there you go. Now, it's got beautiful flow-through construction with the standoffs on here. It's easy to clean up. It cuts like a Banshee. I think it absolutely looks fantastic, and I'm going to say that this is a knife that if you're a beginning knife guy, do not be afraid to put this in your pocket. But I prefer the D2 version, so take that with a grain of salt too as well. If you actually have to be completely budget, there's nothing wrong with AUS 8 steel. It takes a wicked sharp edge. And, it holds it decently well, too, as well. Just the D2 is that much better. Yeah. And I would recommend this highly. Now, if you want something that's just an absolute beater knife, another one. You just can't, go wrong with this knife whatsoever, especially for the price. You cannot go wrong with this knife as a beater knife, as a starting knife, as a knife for just any sort of collector, even if you are a serious collector. This is a knife to experience because no matter the price of it, I mean, sometimes things are just really, really good. I mean, they're built well, they're designed fantastic, they look good. And yes, even though most of the time I'm putting $200 plus folders in my pocket, I did not feel that this was out of place in my pocket. That's how well I thought it was looked, and that's how well I think it's designed. And I wouldn't be afraid to take this knife on a weekend camping or a weekend boating trip whatsoever, or a hiking trip. I think this is a wonderful, wonderful Hall of Fame blade. Hall of Fame blade. Hello, Hall of Fame blade. And you should put it in your collection, and you should put it in your pocket. Scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give this knife an 8. That's how good it is. And I'm going to knock it a little bit for just a tiny, tiny, tiny little bit of kind of fit and finish things, you know, just a little chipped there, and the Auss-8 steel. You give this a D2 steel, and you clean that up, and you've got like a 10 out of 10 blade. Like, that's how good I think this is. All right. Thanks so much for stopping by. I appreciate you guys coming by, and don't forget to enter the draw here by subscribing to get this wonderful Scout One. And you know what? We're not out of the woods yet, so please stay safe out there. Keep your stick on the ice. The shiny side up. This is the Big Canucker saying adios.